this is Connie with Clicky Chick Creates, and I'm gonna walk you through creating this spring tag. First thing I did was mask off kind of a border section on it so that I can show a little bit of the craft tag. Then I added 2 coats of gesso and dried them both. I wanted to really make it white. I had done a test run and only did 1 coat and it was still a little bit too brown for me. So definitely did 2 coats of gesso. Make sure that they're nice and dry before you move on to the next step. It looks like I dried it plenty, but you'll see later I kind of didn't. So next thing I'm doing is adding my chevron stencil, and I'm gonna go for an ombre effect. So I'm using a few different inks. The first one towards the bottom is Distress Ink and Shabby Shutter. Next I'm using a Martha Stewart ink from her Bright ink pad set. And the last is Mowed Lawn. The first 2 colors in the middle and in the bottom, I went a bit lighter. With the Mowed Lawn, I really applied a lot more pressure at the top section, and then right there I kind of just went over it a little bit more to unify all the colors. So when you lift off your tape, be really careful on when you're removing it from the craft tag to just make sure there's no tearing. So I have the old slice machine, which if you've watched any of my previous videos you've seen. I know I'm pretty antiquated, not hip and new with the Silhouette machine or the Brother Scan and Cut, but for now this works for me. So I used the Crafter's Workshop stencil in Mix and Match Hearts to create kind of this dinosaur egg pattern off of one of the hearts, and I used Versamark and some embossing powder, and I personally love the way that came out. Just such a unique look on it, and I love Crafter's Workshop stencils, so I love just all the different patterns and whatnot. So alright, here we are using the Alpha stamps from Sweet Stamp Shop, and I'm lifting them here to kind of see where I'm placing it. Clearly it's Versamark ink, so it's a clear ink, so I'm looking for that shine to see where I placed them. And I created these 2 kind of ultimately I'm creating little banners, so I created it with a pencil line just to guide where I was putting the different little alpha taps. So again, using some more embossing powder, and this is where you can see I think I dried the gesso enough. I didn't dry the ink enough, so make sure you dry off your ink after you create your background with the ink color, and then zap that again. Make sure it's nice and dry. Again, because I hadn't dried my ink enough, I just kind of went in and filled in the letters a little bit with some white ink just to make them pop a little bit. Now I'm using some of the Scotch glue and the We Are Memory Keepers Baker's Twine, the So Easy Baker's Twine, to create my banner swags. I'll come back and add some bows, but first I'm going to go ahead and put my dinosaur egg down, and I'm using some Zots to give it just a little bit of an added dimension and kind of bend on the edges a little bit like an egg really would. And I'm just going to bling it out a bit, add some different gems, again just pieces I've had in my collection for way too long. I love these kinds of projects where I can use them up. So these punches are also pieces I've had forever. For a while before I was really using my stash, I became quite a collector. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that. So anyway, I'm adding some gems to the flowers as well. Oh, those punches I believe were EK Success as well. So just adding some gems to the flowers to beautify them a bit. Gonna tack them on to the tag with some of the Scotch glue, and decided it still needed some more bling and added some stickles here. So once that's done, I'll go ahead and add the bows using, again, the So Easy Baker's Twine, and just, you'll see my neuroticism here, kind of spending a little too much time on those bows, but that's okay. The bows, this probably took a bit too long. Oh, but I did use the tacky glue, which really helps make sure that they stay on and those don't pop off. When I laid down the banner part, the long part, the Scotch glue works great, but anything that's going to be lifted in a fabric like that, I have found that the tacky glue works just a little bit better to make sure that it stays on there. And that does it for the tag. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a very fantastic, beautiful, happy spring and Easter season. Thanks again. Bye-bye.